If you're thinking about selling your Calgary home, this question may be keeping you up at night. Do we sell first, risk having nowhere to go, or do we buy first and risk carrying two mortgages? I'm Ernie Campbell, and I've been helping Calgary sellers navigate this decision for nearly 2 decades. There is no universal right answer, but there are questions you need to ask yourself before you decide, and most sellers never think to ask them. I get why buying first is tempting. Most sellers I sit with don't want to let go of what they have until they know there's something worth moving to. The right street, the right layout, the right fit for where your family is headed. Selling before you found that, it can feel like stepping off a ledge before you've seen the ground. I completely understand the hesitation. And there's also sellers who have the financial position to carry two properties comfortably for 60 to 90 days. If that's honestly you, buying first can work. But in my experience, most sellers who think they're in that position discover the reality feels different once the second mortgage shows up on their bank statement. The moment that second mortgage becomes real, something shifts. A low offer on your current home starts to look more reasonable than it actually is, or a quiet first week on the market feels more alarming than the data warrants. You stop making decisions based on what's right for you and start making them based on what ends the pressure point. I've watched that happen to people who are certain they could handle it, and I understand why. But it's one thing to model it on paper, and then it's another thing to live it. In a market where Calgary buyers have some real options and are negotiating carefully, selling from urgency almost never produces your best outcome. What I've seen consistently on the other side, sellers who sell first arrive at their next purchase with a sale behind them and a clear picture of what they can spend. If you're leaning towards buying first, do you know which market you're buying into and not just the market you're leaving? Calgary isn't just one market right now, and that matters more than most sellers realize. Conditions shift by property type and community. Detached homes sitting around 2.6 months of supply citywide, that's balanced to seller leading territory. Apartments, though, are closer to 5 months, and that's a buyer's market. Even within those categories, what's happening in one neighborhood may look nothing like what's happening across town. So before you can answer the sell first or buy first question with any confidence, you do need a clear picture of both sides, so the market you're leaving and the market you're entering. The gap between them is where your timing and risk actually live. So with that in mind, here's 3 questions worth thinking about to help you decide. First, can you carry 2 mortgages for 90 days without it changing how you'll make decisions on your sale? There's a real difference between running the numbers on paper and living with the pressure when a low offer comes in, say on week 3. That's the question we're sitting with before you decide. Second, do you know what a bridge loan actually looks like in your specific situation? Not in general, but in yours. Most Calgary lenders cap bridge loans at 30 days, and that's a much shorter window than most sellers assume, and it's worth knowing that before you count on it as a safety net. Having that conversation with your mortgage professional early before you need it and not after. Third, what is your actual plan if your home takes longer to sell than you expect? That's the question most sellers don't ask, and the one that matters the most. Calgary's current detached homes have homes averaging about 41 days to sell. If yours takes longer, 60 to 90 days, what does that look like for you financially? These options exist, but they work best when they're part of a plan from the beginning, not a scramble at the end. So where do I lean? Well, in most situations, for most sellers, in this market, I lean towards selling first. Not because buying first can't work, it can, but nearly 2 decades of watching both play out across Calgary has given me a clear sense which one tends to protect sellers better. The sellers who achieve the strongest outcomes are almost always the ones who've walked into their next purchase with their sale behind them and a clear picture of what they can spend. That said, this decision belongs to you and not to me. It's your risk tolerance, your financial position, and your specific situation, and only you can weigh those. What I would encourage before you decide either way is run the actual numbers. What would 2 mortgages cost you monthly if your Calgary home took longer to sell? What does a bridge loan actually look like with your specific lender? And what is the realistic possession timeline in your price range right now? Whichever direction you're leaning, the most important thing isn't which choice you make, it's that you make it with a clear head and the right information in front of you. If you'd like to work through those numbers together, I'd be glad to do that. You can schedule a call through the link below.